Good morning. I'm sorry I'm a bit late, which I guess you'll only know if you're watching live. I was having trouble getting on the internet, so my Wi-Fi doesn't seem to be connecting up, and I've had to use my mobile data. So welcome. My name's Leanne Peters. I'm from templeofbalance.com.au, Temple of Balance on Facebook and Temple of Balance on YouTube. And I am here to host one of two healing events for this month. This is a Patreon healing event for my $50 patrons. So thank you so much for your support. So I have 5 people on my healing list today, and I have put your names in this little pot, and I'll be pulling your name out and connecting with you. My allergies are up a little bit this morning, so excuse my sniffling and sneezing and probably nose blowing throughout this next 40 to 60 minutes, which is how long I'll be here for. So I will be working, or as I connect with each individual, I'm going to be using my healing energy cards and my healing energy cards number 2 deck, which is in creation. So this is very new, very template sample, we could say, sample cards. So I'll be connecting with the individual that I'm connecting with, and then I'll be bringing forward the healing energy that I'm feeling at the time. So if I'm connecting with you, basically what it means is that whatever's loudest in your vibration is going to be what gets my attention first, and then I will share what I'm interpreting with that energy or that visual that I'm having, and we'll work through the healing energy for 10 or 15 minutes each person. Hi Anita, lovely to see you. And then I'll flow to the next person. So I probably should get a couple of tissues ready, which are just behind me, so excuse me for a second. I'll grab a couple of tissues on hand, ready to go. Oh, allergy time of the year. It's not nice, is it? I woke up with such, clogged up nose and sneezing. So it's just one of those things. Summer's on its way. So let's see who's first. So I've been connecting in this way. I've been connecting with people distantly for many, many, many years, well over 15. And it's a bit hard to explain how, but I feel that I kind of tune in by holding the intention of tuning in or connecting with the person. And then I'm very sensitive in my body. Hi, Nellie. Oh, hi, Nellie from Mexico. So I'm very sensitive in my body, so I can feel what's my energy, how I usually feel, and what's not mine as I'm connecting. So I can usually sense things quite subtly in my body. It's like I imagine I'm becoming you, if that makes sense. And it doesn't mean I take on your stuff. It's just the way that I like to connect. And then when the connection's over, then that connection that is ceased. And then I tune into the next person. So let's see what happens. The first person I've drawn out of my little pot is KantiDevi. So KantiDevi, you're first. Let's actually start with my my healing energy cards number 2. So I'm going to pull a card for you, and then I'll tune in and we'll see what's loudest in your vibration. So as always, take on board what feels right, what resonates, and what fits in to how you feel or what's going on for you easily, and let the rest go. If you're listening and you're not on the healing list today, then what I would be doing is I would be making sure I'm nice and open. So open in the heart, open in the mind, open in the body, to receive the healing that I need, because I'm sure that you're here for a reason. So if you can open yourself up to the stuff that really speaks to you, then I'm sure that will be guidance and healing for you too. Okay, KantiDevi, so the best card to start our connection today is this here. Hi, Anne-Marie. We have this card. This card is number 64, and it's called Acceleration. It says the green light turns on. go. So there is a movement with this card, this acceleration. I love that word. And it feels so appropriate because it feels to me, as I connect with you and this card, it feels like the train has left the station, and it feels like it's moving, it's accelerating, it's picking up pace, it's picking up its speed. So it feels like there's something in your life at the moment that's starting to move. It's starting to move, and the green light's starting to turn on in an area that has had the red light on for a little while. So let's just stop and tune into your body. The first thing I'm feeling is being drawn to your heart, and it feels like your heart is stretching. So I'm feeling like this pull, like a cross, like we're trying to stretch a piece of fabric or stretch a piece of dough. So it feels like this pulling and stretching all through the heart. So it's really been stretched out, but there is a lot of it doesn't feel like it's been stretched thin, if you like. It feels like there's a lot of bulk. There's a lot of energy. There's a lot of love, we could say, in your heart that feels like it's ready to stretch. You know, that dough is quite thick, so it's ready to stretch a little bit more. So even though it will be thinning out a bit, it doesn't feel like it's what would you say, like dangerously or badly thin. It feels like it's just an expansion. It really is a stretching and expansion of your heart. So let yourself feel and mold this energy in your heart, because it feels moldable at the moment. It feels stretchable and moldable and expandable. So be careful you're not feeling like you're stuck somehow in your heart, or that things feel rigid and solid in there, because I feel like you might be surprised. Hi B, you might be surprised at actually how moldable your heart is. So I feel like I could get that piece of dough and really mold it into any shape, but there is that sort of stretching feeling. So there's a flexibility that's coming into your heart. And I feel that this is a way, a perspective maybe, or something that's coming, that you're becoming aware of because I'm talking about it, that will help you see many different aspects of your life at the moment from a different perspective, where maybe you felt shut down, closed, rigid, stubborn perhaps. Hi Brittany, in your heart. But I feel like maybe you're more moldable and adaptable and flexible than you realize. And with that new viewpoint comes this stretching. So as your heart stretches and pulls and moves into its new form, it feels like, like molten rock or molten gold or something that we can pour into a mold and get it into any pattern or any shape or any mold kind of thing that we want. So there is this feeling of it preparing to set, if you like, but at the moment it feels very moldable. And this is connected with this acceleration energy as well, and this fast pace that's picking up. You might not feel the fast pace yet, but I'd say in the next 3 weeks you're going to really feel the pace quicken up and the momentum start building. Your hips are ready for action. So it feels like your hips have been sitting in and working out situations and your path and things and how you feel about things for quite a long time now. So it's like your hips are ready to move. Your hips feel greased up and ready to start running and start moving too. So there's a lot that's happening and a lot that's preparing, a lot of momentum that's building within your body and within your heart, within your hips, within your life. So really interesting. Let's grab a healing energy card to see what that wants to add here. So you might feel a bit ungrounded because it doesn't feel like your feet are very planted on the earth, which is okay, because I feel like you're in a molding, moldable, sort of forming, creative kind of space where you might feel the energy is a bit formless, if you like. So it doesn't feel very anchored. It doesn't feel very grounded at the moment, but it feels like it's like potential. That's potential for the weeks and months to come for you. So I don't feel it's a bad thing to feel a bit ungrounded at the moment, but you might feel that. So I guess just be careful that you don't get pulled up into, worry and stress and that mental sort of state, but work with the movement and the momentum and the forming, the stretching, the molding, remolding of your heart and yourself. So your healing energy card to add here is this here. It's this. Oh, and look, this is exactly how I feel your heart to be. This energy in here, see how it feels very mushy and doughy, and I feel like I could push and pull it. This, before I even read anything about this card, this is exactly how I feel your heart to be. Probably not exactly this color to me. Maybe it feels more creamy, a bit like the top of my top here, which is why I talk about dough, because it feels almost like that creamy sort of color of dough. But this is very much like how I feel it to be in your heart. So this is card 8, called Emotional Healing. And this is about healing on an emotional level. Emotionally, especially in your heart center, and the things that have been affecting you quite deeply in your heart in the recent months and recent years. So as you allow, it's almost like, you know, when I'm wedging or moving clay, sometimes if there's little dried pieces of clay that have kind of fallen on that chunk, they've fallen on the chunk and they're dried pieces, and I might be rolling the clay out, and then I've got to pick out these little dry bits. Doesn't happen very often, but this is kind of what I'm feeling too with this energy here in your heart, this sort of flexible moldable dough that you might need to, you might find little rocks or little hard bits that you've got to just sort of pull out as you go. So this feels like old emotion too, that you're moving on, that you're letting yourself feel new feelings, you're letting yourself have new experiences. And this is part of this flexibility, this juiciness, this stretchiness of your heart at this time. It says here to be cautious of emotional dramas unfolding around you and hold your center. So holding your center here, you can never lose that center while the rest of you stretches out and works out what you want, where you want to be, how you feel about things. Not how you felt about that same thing maybe yesterday, but how your feelings are evolving and changing and growing. So thanks, KantiDevi. I trust this resonates with you, and thank you so much for your support. Okay, great. Let's see who's next. Who's next? The next person is this person. It's Anne-Marie. Anne-Marie, are you still here? Tasmania to Anne-Marie. Anne-Marie was here before, so maybe you're still watching live. It doesn't matter if you are or not, but it's nice to know that you're here when I'm connecting too, if it happens to be so. So Anne-Marie, take a nice big breath, and we'll see which healing energy card number 2 wants to kick off your healing connection today. So nice big breath. The first thing I'm feeling just as I initially tune in is a bit of a heaviness in the belly, so quite low in the belly, in the sacral chakra. It's feeling a little heavy in there, a bit like it's got dry bits of gravel sort of sitting down in your belly. So I'll talk about that a bit more in a minute, but let's grab a card. Your card is this. Well, this looks nice and bright. It's card 89, and it says softening harshness, to stop thinking the worst. So there is something bright and light about this card. It's a bit like hope that I was talking about yesterday in the weekly card video and also in the current energy report. There is a bit of a brightness of hope. And as much as I don't particularly love the word hope, because I find that there are other words that tend to be better, it is a really great word and energy to use, especially when we're coming out of a time period where we felt a bit hopeless, or or helpless, or we felt like things weren't looking very promising. That sort of renewed sense of hope is sort of like that opening of the door, like that sun coming out on that new day after days of storm. So softening harshness too is bringing a sort of softened energy to the rigid, sharp, harsh energies that you've been feeling, thoughts that you've been thinking, maybe emotions that you've been feeling, or things that you've been seeing happening in your life that feel very dramatic and harsh and sharp. So softening that if you can, and bringing that sort of lightness, that brightness of hope into those kinds of energies might be really helpful. But let's tune back into this gravelly energy that's sitting down, deep down in your belly. So it's in your sacral chakra, which is just below your navel. And if your sacral chakra was like a bowl, it feels like the bottom of that bowl has very dry gravel in it, little pieces of rock that are very dry and dusty. So that dry energy tells me there's a lot of mental energy that's keeping this block or whatever this gravel represents in play. So that dry energy tends to, for me anyway, connect with the mind. If it was wet and muddy and sticky and gooey, that would be more emotional energy, which is more water-based. So being quite dry and dusty feels very mental energy that's sitting down in your sacral chakra. That is a heaviness that feels like it's creating a heavy sort of weight down in your sacral chakra, and it feels like a weight that's pulling down, so it's kind of heavy down. So even though it feels light and dry and dusty like gravel, there is a weight to it, so it feels like it's pulling you down. This that's been on your mind, this that you've been worrying about, especially connected with the sacral chakra, which is your center for emotional, sexual and creative energies. So your worries, your concerns for your emotions or on an emotional level, a sexual level or creative level. So be careful you're not thinking the worst, which then comes back to this card too, to stop thinking the worst. Just be careful you're not thinking the worst in those areas. It feels like this gravel has been there for a while. It feels very grey, so like a light grey. And it feels like it's been in play for a little while, or it's been in place, we could say, for a little while. I think I'm about to sneeze. And it feels like it blows around. So your the worrying or the stress that continues, if you like, continues to kind of blow this energy around or move this energy around. I'm going to have to blow my nose. Excuse me, I'm going to nip off camera. Thank you. Okay, back. Right, so let's see, what do we need to do about this? So I feel like the fan has been turned on. So it feels like if there's a fan on and this, it's like balls, you know, at the lotto, the balls are kind of blowing around this enclosed area, or this bowl, we could say, this ball. So the balls, the gravel is blowing around in here, and we need to find a way to get these out. So my spiritual surgeon steps forward, Merion, he's a white light being, and he steps forward and he makes a circular incision around your navel. And it's like he's like a circular incision, pulling off that circular piece on the outside. And now we're just blowing all of that gravel, all that old energy out. Now, as this starts, there's a nauseous feeling now that's coming up in the solar plexus chakra, which is just above your navel. So there's a feeling here of old energy that's been sitting right down in your belly. That energy now wants to come up, which is a really good sign. And it's also showing that there's a connection here with your personal power. So a feeling here that this gravel and what this represents and your worries, your stress, your negative thinking perhaps around this has also been taking your power away. So take some really nice big breaths as we get the rest of this gravel out of your sacral chakra. So I'm feeling this blowy energy like a fan. I feel like that working with us as we get sort of, it's like one of those blowers that you blow to blow the lawn clippings off your footpaths in your yard. There's that sort of feeling. So it feels like it's been blown out. So it's coming out through that incision that my spiritual surgeon made, and it's blowing out and away. And it's so light. It's so light. It almost feels like it could tickle your throat. It's so light that it's almost not really, even though it felt very heavy before, now it's feeling very light. So like leaves blowing or feathers. So there's not a lot of weight to it now when it's out of this space. And it just blows away and just returns back to love. So just now getting the last of this dusty energy out from your sacral chakra. This is shifting energy in the throat. So there's energy moving in regards to your truth and who you are. And I feel like there's something really important about that. that this is all connected with how you feel about yourself, the truth of who you are. So something now has shifted. We've shifted some energy here that's been sitting very deeply stored in your sacral chakra. And allowing that to move is going to help you access further the truth of who you are. So as the last of this energy blows away, it looks beautiful as it blows. It's not a bad thing that you've held this here, because I feel that whatever it is, or however you thought about this, about how you thought about yourself, has actually been helping you survive through times through harsh times, we could say. So as you change and as you heal, then these types of things that you held in place to survive become blocks. So it's like this block is now moving, and it looks beautiful as it moves away. So it's like just this beautiful sparkle of light as it leaves. And now my spiritual surgeon puts back on this piece over your navel and puts that back into place using his, what I call his white magic healing cream, to help with the healing and the infusion of that back together. And he steps away. So I just thank him for his help. Okay, so now in your sacral chakra, it feels like this bowl. So like a sphere, we could say. So before it felt like half a bowl. It felt like a bowl, half a sphere. Now it feels like a full sphere, like a full bubble here. And it feels quite large, quite open and empty, but not empty. It feels like it's ready. So it's got space in it, ready for the new things, the new creations that you want to make, the new thoughts that you want to think, the new feelings that you let yourself feel. So it feels good, feels good. Let's grab a healing energy card and see what that wants to add here, Anne-Marie. So nice big breath. And your best healing energy card for now is this here. It's observation. But this card is about stretching out from your limitations. So if this tree was in a box, a wooden box, and it was trying to grow, it would reach a point where it would become confined within that box, if we could imagine that it would still grow. So there reaches a point where we have kind of growing room, if you like, but then we kind of outgrow the space, we kind of outgrow our skin. So there is this need within this card of thinking about stretching and growing and pushing away your limitations. So the limitations that you've been putting on yourself. Good. The limitations that you've been putting onto yourself. What are they? Especially the things that have been holding you back from yourself. Hi, Martin. So where have you been held back yourself? And it feels like, how can you apply, or how can you bring forward the freedom that you're seeking? The freedom that you can access. So, observation, very interesting. I trust this resonates, and thank you so much, Anne-Marie, for your support. Namaste. Okay, let's see who is next. I'll just have a sip of water and go over to my trusty pot and grab this person. This is Susan Sonsteng. Susan, take a nice big breath and we'll see which healing energy card number 2 you get, and then I'll tune in. Excuse me for sniffling. Okay, so as I am shuffling, I'm feeling quite drawn to your lower back at this point. Okay, your best card is this. Okay, this is card 94, called the Presence, or for now, it's called the Presence of Ego. It says balancing shadow with light. So this is about, like, we can probably tell a bit from the picture here, that if this sort of life, this essence represents light, and this essence represents the dark or the shadow within us, our fear, our hurt, our wounds. It feels like this light part, this part that's connected with love and truth and light. It feels like this wants to kind of infect this this dark part with its light. Balancing shadow with light. Okay, let's tune in, Susan, and see what's loudest in your vibration. So I'm being drawn back to your lower back, and it feels like a wedge that's been pushed into your lower back, and it feels like a triangular, it feels like a wooden cone, actually, like a wooden cone wedge that's been pushed into your lower back. So your lower back is still the area of your sacral chakra, but it's connected more with your past. So if the sacral chakra was a band that was just below the navel, it would also include the lower back. So the lower back is the back of the sacral chakra, which is usually talking about the past connection, so past emotional, sexual, creative energies or blockages, and this cone that feels wedged in there, really tight and really deep. So it's like it's been hammered into place, like a, what do you call those? Wooden things that they bang into the furniture. I can't think what they're called. Is it dowel or something like that? I'm not sure. But like a nail, I suppose, or a screw, but it's a wooden chock or something. So it feels like it's been hammered into place. So it feels very deep and very kind of sort of cuts in a long way into the back of your sacral chakra. So we're going to need to move that off, and I feel like I need to just like use a suction, so like a suction cup to get this out, to pull this out. So it feels very flat. It's sitting flush with your body, with your back, but I can see it in there. It's very sharp and pointy. There's a feeling here of it taking your breath away too. So there's something here about taking the life out of you. And it feels definitely connected with the past, and probably a past situation that has really hit you deeply, especially emotionally. And there's this feeling of taking your breath away, of sort of draining the life out of you. It probably feels also, you probably have found that it's hard to kind of really get into your life, that you probably find that at times you have like breakthroughs, but then sort of things kind of dull down again somehow. Like it's very hard, it feels, to sort of get really deeply into the passion and the life of your life, if you like. So I get that sort of feeling here too, that that's very hard to grasp. You know, like sometimes if we're going through up and down kind of energy, the highs tend to last very briefly before the falls again. So there's that sort of feeling here. And this is bringing up a really uncomfortable feeling in the front of the sacral chakra as I'm talking about this. Almost like all the muscles have just clenched up, and it feels very tight and almost like an anxious feeling here. So I don't know if you've been having this sense, or if you've been noticing a bit of a pattern where as something good happens, then something sort of bad happens. Or, you know, sometimes we keep that sort of in play with our language, what we're saying, what we're thinking, if we've noticed a bit of a pattern around that. So there is a little anxiety that's coming in around the highs and the lows and the drops from the high points that I feel is coming in. And I feel like this is connected with this wedge in here. Thank you and welcome. So this wedge, we need to get this out. It feels foreign, so it feels like it shouldn't be there, but it feels like it's very neatly kind of blending in with your body, especially or energetically, especially on the outside, like it's been sanded down and polished up, and it sort of just blends in. But I can feel it. It sort of cuts very deep into the back of your sacral chakra, and we need to pull it out. So this suction cup, it just feels like a cup, like a plastic cup, like a cup shape that I want to push in, that has like this suction where we can pull it out. But I feel we're going to sort of twist and pull it out. It's bringing up a lot of uncomfortable energy in the belly. So there's a lot of anxiety, a lot of very deep, deep-seated pain, it feels like, I want to say, that's coming up very deep in the belly, very deep, even in the womb, right deep, deep, deep down in the body. So take some nice big breaths, and I put this suction cup over the back. So this cone feels like it's sort of about this round. So it's quite large, tapering into the body. So the suction cup on, and let's turn clockwise very gently. So turning and pulling at the same time to really get this energy out. It's feeling really tender, really quite sore back here and all through even the front of the sacral chakra, and just moving the last of this out. Now right down at the point of this is very sharp. It feels like it was sharpened and sharpened and sharpened before it was put in. So there is something very sharp with this and what this actually represents. There's also blood on the end of it that feels very fresh, and that blood energy to me is usually talking about the bloodline, the family line. So it's probably a connection that runs deep, that cuts deep, that's connected with the family or the bloodline, and it may even pass through generations. So if you reflect on your bloodline, you might notice that a pattern that's coming through that you've also, we could say, been infused with, but you can change this as well. So it feels like there's a blood connection here, a bloodline, and even through your ancestry. So now holding this cone, it's dripping with blood. The wood grain is beautiful, so it's very deeply grained, and I just gently put it down to the earth now, where it returns back to love and back into the earth. Whew. Okay, so now you're left with this gaping hole in the back of your lower back. It feels really uncomfortable through this whole band of the sacral chakra. Okay, so let's put some energy into here. I want to bring in some really light blue, so some really light, calming, gentle blue energy, just like if we could, that most beautiful color of water, that really nice light, almost turquoise blue. If we could contain that, if it wasn't so liquidy and we could contain that color, that's the energy that I'm seeing. And I feel like it moving in, like we're pouring it in, like it's gooey, kind of like cream consistency, and we're pouring it into your sacral chakra, like you are lying on your belly, and we're pouring it into this space, this hole where this wedge, where this cone was, filling it all the way up to the top and allowing it sort of looks like gel, and just allowing it to soak into this whole area. And then topping it up as it soaks in, and then topping it up a third time. And now it would just disperse as it needs to. It's kind of got a glint of gold, like a golden glow to this blue as well. So it's calming, but it's also going to help energize you as well, is the feeling here. Help bring your power back. So now I see you in an upright position, sitting up, as that blue energy just kind of holds the whole area of your sacral chakra. So just it fills up the whole space. It's just holding you there in this beautiful calm. It feels cool too, whereas the energy before, now I'm realizing it actually felt quite hot and fiery. So this blue is also cooling it down. It's bringing a balance to this area of your body. Okay, so the healing of this is probably going to continue for a couple of days, Susan. So just allow a couple of days for the energy to settle. But let's grab a healing energy card just to see what that wants to add here. Okay, so the best healing energy card to add to your healing here, Susan, is this. Doesn't matter if it's upside down. We have card 26 called Stillness. So this just confirms the energy. And in fact, that blue is very similar to the blue that I was feeling. It's got a touch of gold here too. So the energy of this is certainly very appropriate. It says self-healing, inner peace, silence and meditation may be helpful right now. Self-discipline and self-control, observation and truth. So this is bringing a stillness, a calmness, but also a truth in for you. And it may be a truth of confronting what this issue was that we've just been clearing out, especially if you recognize a pattern that's come through your bloodline then that can be a really big eye-opener, so a really big realization. So there's a sense of truth that's coming in, and it's the truth is kind of emerging from this peaceful energy, this calm energy that's coming in too. So if you're not quite sure if this is kind of still working its way into your understanding, we could say, allow yourself to connect with the calm, the peace that's coming in, that blue energy, and let the truth emerge, because I feel it's swimming out of the blue somehow. It's kind of strange, but this is how I'm seeing the truth is going to emerge from the calm. The truth will emerge from the silence. So you may also feel that you want some silent time over these next couple of days. There might be just little pockets of silence that you just feel you need to have. So let yourself sit in that and allow the truth to come through when it's ready. So that's the eye-opener, that's the realization, that's the understanding of what this is about for you, but also the bigger picture of this. Because I'm sure you understand what it's about, because it's very loud, strong energy. So it's probably more how it fits into your bloodline, your ancestry, and how the pattern sort of has been carried through, and how the pattern has been playing out in your life, because it can be very interesting once we see it. So thanks, Susan. I trust this resonates with you, and thank you so much for your support. Namaste. Okay, next we have 2 more people here. The next person is this person. It's Carol White. So Carol, please take a nice big breath. Oh, I'm starting to feel very, very lightheaded suddenly. Quite dizzy and lightheaded as I tune into you, Carol. So let's just grab a card and then we'll see what's going on here. Okay. Your card, Carol, for now is this. This feels really exciting. What is it? It says it's card 103. Actually, I think you've had this before. This feels very familiar for you. It says the runway is clear, preparing for the new arrival. I love this card, and it's unlike any other card I've ever created as well. So there's something very fresh and exciting about it. So it's like this being, this is you, Carol, you're waiting for the new arrival. You're waiting for the date to come. You're waiting for something to happen, something to evolve, something to manifest in your life. And it feels like you're basically preparing for it now. So it's imminent. The date has been set. The plane is in sight as the runway is cleared, and you wait for the plane to land. So all is set now. All you need to do now is prepare for this new arrival. So this tingly, lightheaded, dizzy sort of energy, it almost feels similar to this whiteness around this figure, around this silhouette that I see as you. So it's like a tingling, high feeling, but there's also this lightheadedness, a bit of a dizzy kind of feeling here too. So I feel like there's energy on the move around you, especially around your head. So it's a bit like what I'd imagine like a comet just sort of flying full speed all around you, or a big bumblebee, or a big blowfly, we call them in Australia. So a big insect, or a big a plane, or a comet, or something that's flying very quickly around you. So it's not that close to your head. It's not, like millimeters or centimeters from your body. It's, a foot or two out, and it feels like it's building up energy somehow. So it's building up a force, a swirl, a movement all around in this area, especially around your head. What I'm seeing is like the rings of Saturn, and this is being created around your headspace. What the heck does this mean? Who knows? I don't know at this time. This is just what I'm feeling. So this energy here is creating a buzz. It's creating a life. It's turning on all the facets of your mind, of your knowledge, of the skills that the experience that you've gained, all the new experiences and the new skills you're going to be learning. It feels like this energy is moving around this big space, like a complex, like a building complex, like rooms and rooms and rooms in your mind. And it's moving around, it's turning all the light switches on in these darkened rooms of your mind. So it's not even just a house and the rooms in a house. This is a complex like a mall or something where there are multiple rooms and multiple houses, we could say, or shops within this complex. So it's the rooms within the shops or the houses within the complex itself. So there's a lot, I feel, that's going on here, and I feel all these light switches turned on. So these darkened areas, these blacked out parts of your mind that you haven't needed to access for quite a while, and maybe some you haven't accessed for years, the lights are turning on in these rooms in your mind. And this feels like it probably will bring with it these light bulb moments, because it feels like the lights are like light bulbs turning on. So you'll probably find these sparks of energy, these sparks of ideas and inspiration, especially mentally, because it feels quite, what's the right word here? I don't know if energizing, quite lightening, awakening, like this turning on feeling through the head. Very interesting. Okay. And we're just still focusing on this. Okay, so these rooms, these darkened out, blackened rooms, where the light switches were turned off for a while. I feel like some of these light switches were turned off all your life, which makes me feel like this mental complex space that we're connecting with here, that actually a lot of these rooms, a lot of these spaces, you've never accessed, not in this lifetime. That these are rooms that, or archives, spaces that have been existent your whole life, but not turned on. So it feels like you're carrying these from past lives, and you're probably carrying these on a soul higher level too, which feels exciting. So there's some really great wisdoms and ideas that I feel you'll be tapping into as you prepare. And this is part of your preparation. So that's what's loudest in your vibration now. And this energy just continues to swirl around. I feel like there's basements and there's attics within this mental complex. It's quite complex, but basic, because it's just, is the light on or off? And all the lights are being turned on. So you're being re-fired up, it feels like, mentally, which is really cool. Okay, let's see which healing energy card we need to add here, Carol, to finish this up. So we'll go with this card here. It's this. Blossoming. So this is blossoming, this is growing, this is becoming who you were meant to be, who you want to be, becoming the truth of who you are. There is a sense within this card, it's a bit like the caterpillar turning into the butterfly. So there is a sense here of feeling like you might be pulled apart physically as you're put back together again in a new way. So this happens usually when we go through change periods, when we kind of go through a transformation, and we can feel it quite physically in our body. So you might feel quite pulled apart, stretched out, like your limbs have been pulled off in some instances as you're being reformed in this new way. You're transforming now, and this is also part of your preparation. Your preparation for what you've been preparing for all year, but even longer than that. You've been physically preparing for it all year, in fact for the last couple of years, but it feels like you've been preparing for what you're about to walk into, this new arrival. You've been preparing for this for a very long time, and it will make more sense to you as you open that door and as you walk in to the new territory, as you walk into the new plane that's just landed just for you, because there is something really quite amazing on the other side of that. And my hint, my kind of just slight pull here is love, So it could be a person that you connect with. It might be also be a new sense of love for life, You're going to feel a sense of purpose and meaning that you haven't felt for a long time, probably even ever in this lifetime. And that is going to bring with it a new sense of love and connection and appreciation for yourself. So love is on the other side of this door. And how that's going to look and how it's going to play out is something that you have to wait and see. So thank you, Carol. Very exciting. I trust this resonates. Namaste. I'm going to just go and blow my nose again off camera. Then I'll be back to connect with the last person. So I'll be back in a second. Okay, so lucky last today. Thank you. Is that you, David? The comment just went. How do I get the comments back? Oh, yeah. Yes. Saying yes to life. Welcome, David. Last person is Annick Beal. So, Annick, take a nice deep breath for me, Annick. And we will see what comes up for you today and what's loudest in your vibration. Let's just take a sip of water. Okay. Whew, some really quite powerful. I haven't received any note. Where did you leave it, David? But I haven't really been online that much this morning. So if you've emailed, it may go to Corey, which means I'll get it a bit later. So I'm not really sure where you left it. If it's on Facebook, I will have a look a bit later. Annick, so... Oh, yes, the connections have been very deeply healing. Email, right. Well, Corey's probably got that, so he'll forward that to me. He's probably already done it, so I'll see when I finish here. Okay, so let's see what's loudest in your vibration today, Annick. We have this card here. Wow, this is quite a confronting card. It's called 96, Broken Heart. Broken Heart. And it says dealing with disappointment. Yes. It says dealing with disappointment. So there is a heaviness to this card, but it also brings with it some hope, some renewal, so a sense of brighter days ahead, we could say. But this is what we need to connect with now, is this sorrow, kind of heavy, almost depressive, like heavy tar, just dripping down over the body sort of thing. And there is this feeling, I do feel like this tar, like this really heavy gooey tar just pulling down as it drips really slowly down the body, like really slow cooling down lava. And it's coming down on the vertical, so we could say down from above, but it just feels like it moves down on that vertical. And is drooping really heavy over the shoulders and all the way down over the body, even down to the feet. So this really heavy pulling down, like being stuck in mud, but like the whole body is stuck in mud. The whole body is stuck in really thick mud and it's really hard to move. So there's that sort of feeling here. It feels like the left leg really wants to move out, and the left side is typically about the past, and is the part of us that usually, if we kind of feel a pull back on the left side, it's usually the part of us that's stuck in the past. So I feel like a part of you wants to move out of the past and out of the stuff and out of the heaviness, out of the constant. It feels like a constant. So is this happening in your life now? Because there is this feeling of it still being present, this constant sort of heaviness or draining that's coming forward. So we need to clear this straight away. So as soon as I hold that intention, I feel like the sun coming out above you and this shower of rain that just washes over your body now to wash away the mud, because the mud has also been covering you up. It's been holding you hostage in some way, or holding you back is the feeling here. And it's also not giving your skin space to breathe. So there is a suffocation sort of feeling here too. But as the rain comes down quite strongly under the sun, so it's like sun and rain, so it's like a sun shower, and it's washing over you, and it's starting to wash all this tarry, muddy, thick energy away. So it's washing it down over your body and starting to clear and reveal your skin again, reveal your eyes again, reveal yourself again. So it's washing down now. It's well over your shoulders, washing down through your chest, your arms, your torso, down over your hips, and washing down your legs, and washing out over your feet, and just washing all this mud, this muck away and down. It just soaks into the earth where it returns back to love, because it's just simply energy. So you've been cleared now. And I feel there is a sort of uncomfortable feeling of, you know, almost standing here naked kind of thing. Feeling maybe a little exposed, a little out there, a little raw and vulnerable, tender, fragile, bare, and sensitive. Because I feel in some ways this mud has been your protection. It's been your place to hide how you really feel, or what you really think, or who you really are. It's been your armor in some ways. So there is an uncomfortable feeling now with that armor gone and your armor down and your sword down. There is this feeling of, you know, am I exposing myself? So let's put a healthy protection around you for those situations that you're dealing with in your life now that need protection, where you need to feel safe. So as you stand, you know, I'm seeing you standing quite raw and naked and vulnerable and on your own, quite timid, and just bringing through this bubble of light now, like an eggshell that's coming in around your body. So in your auric field, it's not, you're not wearing it, it's out here. So we're going to really look at keeping the space inside this shell really nice and positive and light, so you can keep being yourself, but also keep your protection up in a healthier way. So this protection shell comes up. It is like a shell, but it is like light. So it's made of light. It's like a force of light. And this force of light, this shield, this eggshell of light, it's not going to allow negative energy in, especially negative energy that's going to pull you down. So I feel this is also about your boundaries. So really thinking about your boundaries and what you're allowing in and what you're taking to personally, perhaps as well. Are there changes that need to be made in your immediate life or in areas of your life that have been pulling you down? So holding this space of protection really nice and strong, like this eggshell shape, this eggshell sort of energy, and keeping and infusing now that inside of this whole eggshell, including your body and the part of your aura out here, infusing this now with light. So really light, white, like a golden white light, but it's very light, it's not dense. This light is just filling up this whole space within this eggshell. And it feels like it's spiraling out actually from your heart. So it's like a galaxy that's expanding here at your heart and filling up this whole eggshell area with light. A high vibration to help keep you high and positive in your vibrations, in your own little world that you're in, but especially in situations where you feel unprotected, we could say. So I also want to put out to you that you are loved and that you are not alone, that you are supported. And keep being grateful for the things that you're grateful for. And I feel that this heavy time will pass. It feels temporary somehow. So maybe keep that in mind. Now bringing forward some energy, it feels very pink, like fluffy pink, like a really fluffy pink blanket or clouds that's been wrapped around your lower back, wrapped around your sacral chakra for emotional support. And I feel like this is probably an area where you may be feeling lacking, because I feel this support coming in like one of those pillows we put around our neck when we're flying to support our neck while we're hopefully trying to have a sleep. But it feels like a pillow, a support that's coming to brace you around your sacral chakra for support, but especially emotional. And it's loving. It's a loving energy, but it's there to help support you. So that's also coming into place around your sacral chakra. So let's grab a healing energy card to see what that wants to add here for you, Annick. So the best healing energy card, just to finish this connection off, is this here. It's this. Truth. Oh, the truth keeps just kind of funneling through, just really gently in pretty much all of these connections today. Card 49, truth. This is Archangel Michael, but listen to this. So removal of illusion, fear, lies, deceit, and everything that's holding you back, which is what we've just done because we've just washed away that Tari energy. It says freedom, truth, throat chakra. But this is what's really interesting. Protection, strength, warrior, courage, personal power. This is the protective card. It's the protective energy. It's the sword of truth, and it's here to protect you. So it feels like the truth will protect you too. But it feels like sometimes, and for some people, the truth is brutal. And it may be the case for you with people that you share your life with, that there is a brutalness to the truth that it may be misunderstood. And that may be where you feel like you have to keep your sort of guard up or your protection up. So as you slip further into a healthier space of protection, maybe similar to what we've done, or if you want to evolve that into something that feels best for you, then please do. But as you evolve into a healthier protection for yourself, I feel like you're going to be able to sort of tap into the truth in a way that feels less harsh and brutal. So a more of a subtle, but it feels like more of a subtle truth. But this is about you living your truth, not necessarily what you're saying. You know, it's not necessarily about the truth that you're expressing to other people. And obviously you want to be truthful in all of your actions and dealings with yourself and with other people. But as far as telling other people how you really feel, that can be quite brutal and can be quite difficult, not only for us, but for the person receiving too. So I feel like that's where the brutal truth, where the words might be, it might be more helpful for you for them to be more subtle, or even just a truth that you're figuring out for yourself first and getting the clarity on. But this is certainly affirming your protection, which is really important at this time. So I trust that resonates with you, Annick, and thank you so much for allowing me to connect with you today. Namaste. Thank you for your support. Thank you all for your support. I really appreciate it. Now, we've done some quite deep healing today, so you might find that you might need a couple of days for the healing energy now to kind of settle. It will probably continue to move some old stuff out as the old energy moves away and the new energy anchors into place. So what I recommend that you do is drink lots of water, listen to your body, and be kind and gentle to yourself. And you might find you feel really tired over this next day or so as your body wants you to sleep so that you can further integrate the healing energy. And perhaps look at where these things that stood out for you, where they play out in your life. Where do they play out with your own thoughts, your own feelings, and how can you shift or change or adjust those things that may not be supportive or healthy for you anymore. So, yeah, thank you so much. I will be back again next month towards the end of December for our next Patreon personal healing event like this. So if you would like to join in for that, please have a look on my Patreon. The link is in the video. If you are on my list today and you want to continue, then I look forward to connecting with you again next month. Tomorrow is my healing list event, which we have about 40 people on the healing list. You're very welcome to look into that if you want. That's a $15 a month pledge. And I don't know what we'll do tomorrow. I'll think on that and feel on that in the hours now to come. But I might see you back for that. That's basically 24 hours from when this video started tomorrow. So I might see you then. Take care of yourself. And if you want to learn more about me and what I do, the work I do at Temple of Balance, please visit templeofbalance.com.au. Take care of yourself and I'll see you next time. Bye for now. Oh, how do I stop this video? It's so different to Facebook, isn't it? Here. Here we go. Bye.